Hello, my name is Brother Franco Taylor, and welcome to another edition of the Right Stuff Helps television program. Why the right stuff? Well, all of our lives, we've eaten, drunk, looked at, and watched the wrong stuff. So don't you think it's about time that you got your hands on the right stuff? Join me, Brother Franco Taylor, each week to get well and stay well naturally. Now, watch and learn from today's program.
Hello, this is Brother Franco Taylor, and welcome to this week's edition of the Right Stuff Helps program. As I always like to say, it is a plum-pleasing pleasure to be here with you today. Last week we talked about the first letter in the acronym The Bible Way, B-I-B-L-E-W-A-Y, and the first letter was a B, and it stood for the best food and combinations. Since our program is entitled The Right Stuff, we will always talk about the best of a certain situation. Not the only, but the best. And we learned last week that the best food and combinations, we found it in the Bible in Genesis 1:29, and it basically told us that God had given man fruit, nuts, grains, and he later added vegetables in his diet. And then the question came about, how do you eat this best food? Do you cook it? Do you steam it? How do you eat it? Well, in the beginning, it was designed not to be cooked because there were no George Foreman grills or microwave ovens in the Garden of Eden. So the food wasn't cooked, it was live. And I said that it wasn't meant necessarily that you couldn't cook food. It's just that it's not the best. And if you're going to cook food, you need to eat some live food with it. What do you mean live? Well, live basically simply meant uncooked. So we said that in the morning, if you're going to have, say, whole grain grits, whole grain biscuits, whole grain pancakes, or something whole grain, with that, it would be good to have a couple of pieces of fruit. And for lunch, we said if you're going to eat at Mickey D's, Captain D's, Wendy's, one of these, some of these, all of these, okay? I want us to laugh a little bit, but the key was that with that, you needed a nice salad and a nice slaw, because the salad and slaw were still live. And you need something live with every meal that you eat. So the bottom line was that man should eat live food, more live food with his meals. And the key to that was the live food gave the body all that it needed, the minerals, the vitamins, the fiber to make the bowels move. Everything that man needed was to be found in the live food. So if you're going to eat a snack with just nuts and popcorn, great. That's what you want, fine. But make sure that you eat something live, fruits or vegetables with it, because that would give the body what it needs, and it would help the body to actually digest the other foods. And then we also talked about chewing, taking the time to chew, because that food had to be chewed in order to digest properly, so that you wouldn't have indigestion or GERDs and so forth, acid reflux. All this came from not chewing the food. We also talked about not drinking liquids with the meals, because the liquid actually stopped the food from digesting. It diluted the hydrochloric acid, which was going to break down the food, and the food sat there and rotted and putrefied and turned into morbid matter, and you were bloating and burping and griping and flatulence and so forth, and all that started with not taking time to chew and drinking liquids with the meals. So bottom line, that was last week. We talked about the best food and combination. This week, we're going to talk about the second letter in the Bible Way acronym. And the second letter is an I. And that I stands for intake of plenty of water. Intake of plenty of water. You know, I've had people tell me, well, Franco, my doctor simply told me that I just need to drink lots of liquids. Okay, well, that's okay too. But the key is water is actually absolutely crucial to our existence. And we'll talk about that as we go along. But the bottom line, water is what I call the universal solvent. And it's designed to do several things for our bodies. We even call it the no-calorie wonder. The best water, of course, is soft water. Soft water, you know it's soft because it makes lots of suds. You don't see any scum ring around your tub when you get finished with the tub. And it has no taste. But Brother Franco, we like taste. I know. We're going to deal with all that in just a second. But it has no taste because there's nothing in it. What gives water its taste are the minerals. That's what you're tasting, is the minerals that are in the water. So they give it a taste. And the pure distilled water has no taste. Pure water has no taste. It wasn't designed to have a taste. Water wasn't for you to taste. It was for cooling, refreshing. Again, the purpose of water is to act as a carrier for oxygen and for nutrients, and then to act as a cleaning agent to pull poisons and toxins out of the bloodstream into the urinary tract where they can be taken out through the urine. So once you understand what water is for, you understand that its job is not to put minerals in your body. What did I say? Its job is not to put minerals in your body. Your minerals come from the food that you eat. So now I'd like to take you to another point, understanding the difference between inorganic and organic. Our bodies are organic. They're living. They're flowing. They're natural. That's organic. When they talk in terms of organic foods and so forth, sometimes there's a big confusion on that too. But organic basically has to do with living things. Like the fertilizer that goes into growing organic food is actually living waste. It's manure, animal manure, living, has live bacteria, live cultures in it, which help to feed the soil so that the food that's grown on this soil is full of living minerals and vitamins, okay? As opposed to man-made fertilizers, which are inorganic, going into inorganic soil with inorganic minerals, and so you get basically food that is grown that has no nutrients in it, it has no vitamins in it, it has no minerals in it. So it's basically just foodless food, you might say. It's nutrient lacking. It lacks nutrients, and so it's not really food. And we're going to talk about that. We were talking about the difference between inorganic minerals, organic minerals, hard water versus soft water, and why we don't get our minerals from water. And again, people always say, well, Brother Franco, I thought we need minerals. Well, we do, but not from water. We should get our minerals from food. And here's what happens. You see, when you drink too much water with minerals in it, the inorganic minerals in it, there's too much calcium, iron, and magnesium and so forth in this water. And what happens is this hardened sediment rock-like material, when you drink lots and lots of it, it begins to settle in your heart, the tissues of the heart, and in your arteries and veins. And so what happens? They begin to thicken and harden. And it gives you atherosclerosis, or hardening of the arteries, which leads to what? Heart attack and stroke. Are you all listening to me? West Memphis, Arkansas is known for, well, not just West Memphis, but Little Rock, Arkansas is known for hot springs, and Hot Springs, Arkansas. They're known, people travel from all over the world to come and get some of this spring water. They bring jugs and bottles, and they load up with this water and they take it back because they've heard it's healing water. This mineral water has lots of minerals in it. Well, Arkansas is number one for that. Arkansas is number one for something else. They're also number one in what is called, they're called the Stone Belt, or the stone capital of the world. And I'm not talking about diamonds and rubies. I'm talking about kidney stones and gallstones. Are you getting me, folks? You got to hear this. The two people that were known as the Stone Man and the Stone Woman, that you see them in circuses and carnivals traveling around the United States, well, these two people both came from Arkansas. They weighed in excess of 500-600 pounds, and they had all of this buildup of slough rock-like stuff on their bodies where you could actually drive a nail into their bodies and they couldn't feel it. Where did all this buildup of calcium deposits and so forth come from? Well, they were both from, guess where? Arkansas. Isn't that something? No coincidence, folks. You don't get your minerals from water. You get them from food. The minerals in water are hard, and therefore they can't be broken down. They begin to settle in the body, and they'll build up hardening of the arteries, hardening of the colon. They'll cause stiffness and arthritis in the joints because of the calcium being depleted and hardening there, and heart attack, stroke. You got it, folks. All this comes from the hardened sediment that can't be broken down. Remember, your body is organic. these minerals and so forth are inorganic. So they're not designed to go through and be used in the body. So bottom line, even diabetics have to be careful because the same sediment causes a lack of circulation, and diabetics already have problems. And when they get the lack of circulation in the legs, they end up with the diabetic sores, and sometimes they actually end up getting amputations because of the lack of blood flow, and a lot of it is caused by the hardening of the arteries brought on by drinking this water with all these minerals in it. Are y'all listening to me? Come on, folks. We want to drink good distilled water. And we're going to talk a little bit more about the types of water. But before we do that, I want to back up just a little bit, and I want to go to my source, to my main, the bibliology, okay, my main book, the Bible. And we want to just look at water. Everything that we talk to you about, basically, we find it in the Bible to make sure that we're on target, okay? And I'm going to read for you something from the Bible in the book of Ezekiel. Write this down and go check it out. Ezekiel 4:11. And Ezekiel 4:11, believe it or not, is going to tell us about drinking water and how much. Watch out, watch out. Listen, listen, listen. Okay. Ezekiel 4:11 says this: "Thou shalt drink also water by measure." And if you remember, in our first show, we talked about, I believe the scripture was Leviticus 17:11 that said the life was in the, no, Exodus 15:26. And it told us that if we would diligently hearken to God's word, if we were to keep all of his statutes and all of his commandments, he'd put none of the diseases upon us. And we said that that was the main prescription from God. If we were obedient to the commandments and to his word, we wouldn't get sick. Good prescription, didn't you agree? And then we found a couple of prescriptions where he told us what food to eat, which was in last week's lesson on the B from the Bible way. Well, there's another, what I would call a commandment here, and it says in Ezekiel 4:11, "Thou shalt drink." He didn't say, "If you please." He said, "Thou shalt." You will. That's a command. So this is one of the commands, not 10 commandments, but one of the many commands from God that would help us with our natural health. And so here he's telling us, "Thou shalt drink also water by measure." We're being told to drink a measured amount of water every day. Then he goes on to say, the sixth part of an hin. The sixth part of an hin. It's not a buck, 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 buck. That's not that kind of hen. It's an H-I-N. And when I went and researched it, I found that in the Hebrew and the Greek, it was a part of a bath of water. That hen equaled 1.5 gallons. Well, 1.5 gallons equals 6 quarts. So now we see here that he's saying we should drink 6 quarts. But he says to drink 1/6 of a hen, or 1/6 of 6 quarts. What is 1/6 of 6? 1 quart. Are you getting this? 1/6 of 6 would be 1. So 1/6 of 6 quarts would be 1 quart. But then it tells us to drink it from time to time. So if we drink 1/6 over here, which is a quart, and 1/6 over here, which is a quart, how many quarts is that? 2 quarts. How many glasses is that? 8 glasses. Y'all aren't getting this. How many glasses of water have the doctors been telling us to drink for the last 50 to 75 years? You got it. 8 glasses of water. Well, I'm glad that man has caught up. But you see, God sent the word to me by the prophet Ezekiel 4,000 years ago, telling me that I should drink a minimum of 8 glasses of water a day. Why do I say a minimum? Because it says here, from time to time. That doesn't necessarily mean 2 times. It could be from time to time to time. And the reason I say that is simply because depending upon your size determines the amount of water that you should drink. But it's a minimum of 8. Why do I say that? Well, for instance, let's say we have a gentleman that weighs 250 pounds. And we've got a young lady that weighs 120 pounds. Will they both drink 8 glasses of water? I don't think so. Let's just say that the gentleman weighing 220 or whatever, 220, let's just say he was a Ford Expedition. And let's just say that the woman weighing 120 was a Ford Echo. That's 2 cars. They both use water. Which one uses the most water? the Ford Expedition. Can you drive the Expedition on Echo water? You could for a little while, but what would happen? It would overheat. Well, the same thing happens to you. When you don't drink enough water, you overheat. It's called high blood pressure. You ain't getting this. And if the car explodes, or if the engine explodes and freezes, that's a heart attack, folks. Oh, that's deep. And again, it comes from not getting enough water, not being hydrated in your body. So I just wanted to make sure we kind of touched on that before we went any further. The idea is that you must drink enough water. And the Bible tells us that we need to drink 1/6 of a hen from time to time. In other words, the Bible is telling us that we should drink a minimum of 8 glasses of water a day. But the actual formula is this. Based on your size, you would drink 1/2 of your body weight in ounces of distilled water every day. So again, before we went off, we were talking about the minerals and why not the mineral water. I thought we needed minerals. Well, yes, again, you get your minerals from your food. Here's how it happens. The minerals, the inorganic minerals are down in the soil, and the plant's roots go down into the soil, and they pull up these minerals, these hardened rock minerals. They pull them up into the roots, okay? Then the sun shines on what? Shines on the leaves of the plant, and through what is called photosynthesis, chemically changes those inorganic minerals into organic minerals, so that when you bite into the fruit or the vegetable, whatever it is, you get living minerals. Are y'all getting this? So you got to have sun, plant, and minerals. You can't move the plant out of the way and just go to eating the minerals, getting the minerals because they came in the form of water. You can't do that. They're still rock, hardened sediment, and over a long period of time, they're going to harden your arteries, and they're going to set you up for kidney and gallstones. Again, not knocking it, just trying to help you to see so you can make a better choice in drinking your water. So let's talk about the best water. What is the best water? Well, let's start with tap water. Tap water, is that good for you? Well, let's think about it. Have you ever looked inside of a hose or inside of a pipeline when the pipe broke and the water line? What do you see inside it? In some cases, the hole should be that big, and it's only that big. What has happened? All of that calcium, all of that iron, that magnesium, all of that has literally, phosphorus, has clogged up and literally almost closed off that pipe. In some cases, it closes off and the pipe bursts simply because of all this hardened rock sediment. Well, it does the same thing in your arteries and your veins. So bottom line, we don't want that hardened sediment in our bodies. We want, and that's what you'll find in tap water. And plus, all the chemicals that they put in the tap water, the chlorine, the fluorine, the bleach, the so forth. And by the way, those that drink tap water, let me see a show of hands of those out there who are drinking tap water. Okay, I see you out there. You all are the best Christians in the house. You know why I say that? Because if you're drinking tap water, you're drinking your next door neighbor's toilet water and bath water. So you got to love him. You love your neighbor enough to drink his bath water and his toilet water. Okay, I know. It comes through the water cycle and through the system, but it's still recycled bath water and toilet water, folks. You got to get that in your crawl. You got to think about that. So tap water is not the best water. And hold on just one second. You all look a little thirsty. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to drink us some water, okay? Don't y'all feel better? Okay, a little laugh, but again, we need to drink water, plenty of water, half our body weights and ounces of distilled water every day. So tap water is not the best water. What about spring or mineral water? We talked about that a little bit because in hot springs, that's what they do, is they have all that mineral water, but that water causes a buildup of deposits on the body. So that's not the best water either. Now, people tell me about the alkaline water. Folks, if drinking alkaline water will make you drink more water, drink the water. But the point is, you're still talking about tap water that's basically been sent through a machine with a little chemical possibly and electrocuting it, so to speak, to cause it to get down to an alkaline state. But you're still talking about mineral tap water that's bad in the long run. Yes, drinking more water is going to, even if you drink toilet water, it would be helpful, but you might get E. coli, okay? But the fact is, whatever it takes to make you drink more water, if it's alkaline water, drink the water. If it's mineral water, go ahead. Just know in your mind that over a long period of time, you can build up hardening of the arteries in your legs and near your heart, and you can also build up calcium deposits in your bones and so forth, okay? How is water distilled? I've got something here. I was going to talk about contamination of water, but I'd like to talk about distilled water. I don't know if this shows up pretty good there for you, but if you'll notice there, you've got a tank that has water, and on one side you've got a heating element. And what it does is it heats the water. This water evaporates and it goes up to the top of the tank. It hits another part of the tank that's cool, and it comes over and it drops on another side, and it actually drops as what we call distilled water. I'm just shortening it for you. It's heated, it rises up. What does it leave behind? It leaves behind the minerals, the bacteria, the poisons, the toxins. It leaves everything behind. It evaporates, it goes up, and it condenses in a cool plate, and it drops over in another chamber as distilled water, pure distilled water. Then they purify it for taste. So distilled water or steamed distilled water actually is distilled first and then is purified for taste. Why am I saying that to you? I'm saying that because this is the best water. And it's the best water because it's also God or the Creator's hydrologic cycle. Let me show you that. If you'll look at the bottom here, you'll see another picture, and it shows a body of water. It could be a lake, it could be a pond, it could be a river, but the point is the sun shines on that body of water, and what happens? The water evaporates. When it evaporates, it goes up, just like in the tank of the distiller tank. When it goes up, what does it leave behind? Well, it leaves behind poisons, toxins, minerals, bacteria. It goes up to the cloud, it condenses, and then it falls as distilled water. I wanted you to get that, folks, because man has learned to do what God had already done, and that is to use perfectly pure distilled water. The only problem with the water in the clouds and so forth, when it goes up, because the clouds are so full of industrial impurities and contaminants, when it comes down as what they call acid rain, so it's not pure anymore. Man has destroyed the air, he's destroyed the ground, he's destroyed the water with all kind of pollution and contaminants, so this water is not pure anymore. But it started out as pure water. So all we're doing by telling you that the best water is distilled water is giving you the water that God had designed for you. So again, you need to drink more water, half your body weight in ounces of distilled water every day, and pure or distilled water is the best form of water. Now I want to do something else with the few minutes that we've got left. I want to talk a little bit about some of the products that God has blessed us to have. Again, there's a lot of contamination and so forth in the water. We'll talk about that at another time. But right now we want to talk about a couple of the products that God has blessed us to design. One of them is called the Clean Sweep Colon Broom. Clean Sweep Colon Broom. And basically the Clean Sweep Colon Broom is the first product that God blessed us to design over 27 years ago. And it is a high fiber product that literally goes into the colon, and I think you can see a colon there in the body, and it literally goes into the colon and it pushes its way into the colon. It does what is called adsorb. It adsorbs by pushing its way into all this debris that has been caked in your body for years. It softens it. Then when you drink enough water, okay, how much? Half your body weight in ounce of distilled water a day. When you drink enough water, it literally causes it, like a roto-rooter you might say, it literally causes all this waste to come out of your body. A lot of people have told me that they'll have 2 to 3 good bulky movements every day. I mean bulky. They'll sit down, they're out of there in less than a minute. I'm telling you, you can have a bowel movement as fast as you can urinate if it's coming out the way that it's supposed to. And it comes out, you don't have to do all that wiping because it's not all messy and sticky and mucousy. It literally is fibrous because you have eaten more what? Fiber-filled foods. You're eating more live foods with your meals. And that helps to have a good bulky movement along with this fiber. And most people have even told me about losing from 1 to 5 pounds a week just getting waste material out of their bodies. That's right. It's called the Clean Sweep Colon Broom. Clean Sweep Colon Broom. Powerful, powerful product. I've got people that I've known for 27 years that have used this product for 27 years, and they tell me there's nothing like it. It's called Clean Sweep Colon Broom for cleaning out your colon. And the body broom has hawthorn berry. We put hawthorn berry in there because hawthorn berry is the world's renowned herb for working with the heart. It literally goes in and it pulls cholesterol off the arteries and the veins. It helps to tone the heart, nudge it so that it beats the way that it's supposed to, and it helps the blood to thin down to just the right thinness so that it can flow the way that it's supposed to. It also has uva ursi. Uva ursi is a herb touted around the world for literally assisting the cleansing of the kidney, the bladder, and the pancreas. So it works with those mucous membranes, those waterborne membranes, to cleanse them. Also, we put milk thistle in the product, and what the milk thistle does is it helps to cleanse, detoxify, and rebuild the liver. That's right, milk thistle. So basically what we're talking about is a product that works with the heart, it works with the liver, it works with the kidney, it works with the pancreas and the spleen and the lungs. So it's a body broom. You take the body broom and the colon broom and you put them together, and what you get is a product that literally helps to totally detoxify the body. It becomes a total body detoxifier. And then we come on top of that with the foods that we said we needed to eat, more live food, and taking the time to chew it and so forth. Those nutrients in the body, after cleansing with a product like this, you can start all over and you can begin to rebuild a nice, nutritious, healthy lifestyle. Clean Sweep Colon Broom first to go in the colon, Clean Sweep Body Broom secondly to work with the body, and together they give you a total body detoxifying program. Clean Sweep Colon Broom, Clean Sweep Body Broom. Folks, again, I'm not saying you have to buy our fiber, but before you talk about changing your dietary and going in a new direction, becoming vegan or eating more live foods, whatever it is, going totally raw, whatever it is, before you do that, you first have to clean your body out. I always say clean out, clean up, and stay clean. What am I saying? I'm simply saying this, that you should clean out your body. Use a colon broom and a body broom, as it were, to clean out your body. And then you want to clean up. You want to clean up your act. You no longer want to put those poisonous, toxic foods in, so many animal products, so much sugar and so forth. Begin to clean up your act. And then you want to stay clean. Stay clean simply means that you want to stop and refrain from it and continue to do that which is good. Clean out, clean up, and then stay clean. That's right. And you won't have to keep going back like a dog returning to his vomit, as the scriptures say, by getting sick on and off the roller coaster, the merry-go-round. You get sick, you get well, you get sick, you get well. Why continue to do that? Why not get well and stay well the Bible way? That's right. So today we talked about the intake of plenty of water. To recap, we want to make sure that it's understood that you need more water. How much water do you need? Based on what the Bible showed us, we need at least half of our body weight in ounces of distilled water every day. But the formula that we found that works is that you would drink, again, half of your body weight in ounces of distilled water a day. Regardless of what your weight, it would help work for you. That's right. You need water. What's the best water? The best water is distilled water because it's pure. To take the oxygen in, take the nutrients in, and pull the waste out without taking these heavy minerals in that clog up your arteries, your veins, your colon, your bones, your joints, and so forth. So you need water, folks. So again, this is Brother Franco Taylor saying that you know I love you, and thank you for being here with us. And until the same time next week, same station, this is Brother Franco Taylor saying I love you. And may God bless.